Nick meets with Annie and he says he doesn't believe in traditional gender roles, which is completely fine. But then he said he doesn't want to be this man who takes up his sword and shield. And I'm just like, Nick, why you lying? You and I and every single viewer, except for maybe Annie because she doesn't know what you look like, knows you do not have a sword and a shield to take up. Nick, there's no sword and shield available to you. You have none. Why are you lying? Just say you don't believe in traditional gender roles because you cannot perform traditional gender roles.
What draws you away? What keeps you up? Say that with me if you can.
Hello and welcome to Life Lessons and Confession, the channel where we figure out our power by figuring out ourselves. So today I'm going to do a quick recap of Love is Blind USA Season 9, Episode 1, 2, 3. And for this season, they are in Colorado. And listen, initial impression, I wasn't impressed, okay? Initially, I just was not impressed. And as I kept watching, I had to stop at episode 3. They released 6 episodes. I had to stop at 3 because I am so bored. But let's jump in. They start off the season with the cheesiest montage I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if I missed the montage in previous seasons, but this was so cheesy. I was just like, okay, I mean, that is a creative choice. It is a choice, all right? And the first person we meet is Patrick. I'm like, wow, they really took all those comments about the fact that y'all don't like Asian people too hard. So they made sure to present to us an Asian man front and center. Patrick is 33. He lives in Colorado, Denver. He's basically the only minority in his friend group. So his friend group is composed of all white folks. He's the only Asian person. He connects with Casey. Patrick is 30 and Casey is 32, and they connect on sports. Listen, I am a person who is allergic to sports, okay? Sports, what? I don't understand, but it works for them. So at least they have something in common. You're going to see why I said that. He plays basketball. She enjoys watching a ton of sports. I don't understand sports people. But sure, it's your thing. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. Her sister apparently sings in Korea. Random factoid. And when I heard that, I looked at Patrick. Because listen, I'm not gonna pretend to tell the difference between East Asian folks, but Patrick does look East Asian. I was like, Patrick, are you Korean? Is this actually like something that could work? But he didn't say anything, so that was that. Her family is Mormon. She grew up Mormon, but she's not really religious. And yeah. That was a sweet little conversation. Patrick talked about how being Asian American has been difficult to date. He's never dated another Asian person, and interracial dating is a little bit hard. I can see that. I can see how the cultural differences and traditions can be hard. But again, I just feel like with any other dating, not just interracial, intercultural, whatever, communication is the key. Because at the end of the day, people are individual. But that's just how I view the world. I try to keep my friend group very diverse. I have had Asian male friends in the past, just seasonal. And what I found out is Asian men tend to marry Asian girls. And there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me. Most black men will marry black women. Most white men will marry white men. Asian men tend to marry Asian girls. They make it known to every other woman group they're interested in marrying Asian girls. They might be with you because of fun or bedroom activities, but the end goal is always an Asian girl. So when I hear some people talk about, let me not be diplomatic. When I hear men, Asian men specifically, talk about how it's difficult to date, I'm just like, well, you have advertised yourself as you will only take Asian girls seriously. Do you think women are going to line up knowing you're not going to pick them? That doesn't make any sense. This is just my opinion as a non-Asian person. Clearly, you can see from the video. Honestly, that's always been my belief, that Asian men will only marry Asian girls. Hence why you're not going to be successful in the dating markets, because every woman knows you're only going to marry one type of girl. And what's the point of giving it a shot? It's not going to go anywhere other than for fun. Moving away from Casey, Patrick meets with Anna, and immediately I'm just like, this guy's gonna go for her because she's Asian. And from their conversation, according to me, from what I've seen, I feel like he had better rapport with Casey. Granted, this season is boring. Okay, this season is boring. The conversations are very surface level and very shallow. However, despite the shallowness, I feel like Patrick had a better connection with Casey compared to Anna. And they tried to play Asian telepathy. Anna was asking, did your family immigrate here? Do you speak more than one language? And I'm just like, girl, that's everyone. And I'm just like, girl, have you been in the U.S.? The U.S. is the land of immigrants. A lot of immigrants come to this country. Are you kidding? What? Do you speak more than one language? I know people who speak 5 and 7. I personally speak 3. Child, listen. After Patrick started that whole thing of how it's difficult to date as an Asian American male, I'm just saying from my personal observation, Asian men are not open to dating any other person who is not Asian, or at least to dating any other non-Asian person seriously. They might have fun with you, but it's not long-term commitment. And I actually think this is why you're not that successful in the dating field, because everybody knows your hand. Black women also, everybody knows our hand. So it's the same problem, it's the same issue. They have the most basic surface level conversation ever. They do Asian telepathy, and now they are in love because they're both the only Asians in the experiment. I'm like, okay, ciao. Listen, take me back to Love is Blind France. They have all Asian people there, and they were not like this. Anna meets with Blake, and since we're already talking about race and culture, Blake is white. Anna says she's interested in, camping, hiking, all those outdoorsy stuff. Blake is into the same thing. Again, I feel like Anna had a better conversation with Blake. But she's going to entertain Patrick because they play Asian telepathy. My family wants me to be with an Asian person. Let me go. Right. Love is Blind France has better Asian representation. That's all I gotta say, okay? When I saw them play Asian telepathy, I was just like, okay, y'all not gonna take this seriously. Y'all are just going to be together because you're from the same culture. But you have nothing in common other than you look alike. The world is bigger than that. That is just me, from my perspective, as an immigrant myself, who speaks 3 languages. The world is bigger than that. Yes, your culture plays a factor in your life. I'm not gonna downplay that. However, it is one piece of the puzzle. There's an entire pie. Culture is one, gender is another one, and there are a bunch of other stuff. Like, I don't live in Colorado. By the way, I live in the DMV. The DMV is pretty diverse. There are a lot of Asian folks here. There are Latinos, lots of immigrants, Arabic people. Like, it's a melting pot. And a lot of immigrants speak multiple languages. Not unique to you. But maybe in Colorado it's different, child. They annoy me. I was just like, listen, Love is Blind US. Keep Asian folks, but just get these Asian folks off my screen. It's going to be, we're from the same culture, so let's be together. Let's force something when y'all don't have anything in common. Personally, I don't see it. But, ciao. Let's continue. Blake and Hannah hit it off. I think she's better off with Blake. I think Patrick is better off with Casey, but... So after Blake and Hannah hit it off, Blake meets with Sparkle Megan. I thought I was gonna like Sparkle Megan, but I don't know. This cast, they're just different. Sparkle Megan is a CEO. She's a boss babe, and she loves everything that sparkles. So do I, girl. So do I, but she pissed me off. They talk about their careers and how they both want kids, so they hit it off on that. Afterwards, Sparkle Megan meets up with Mike. Mike is a finance bro. From my tone of voice, I am instantly annoyed. I like to preface this in my videos because we do not live in a vacuum. We are a combination of obviously our genetics, our background, our culture, gender, and also our life experience, which is how I can kind of understand the Patrick and Hannah being, I want to date an Asian person. I get it. I don't agree, but I get it, right? For me, Mike was a trigger. Oh my freaking gosh. When I heard finance bro, I was just like instant no. Like from that wording alone, I'm like, you're arrogant, you're egotistical, you probably think you the ish. And he fits the bill. Let's just say he fits the bill. Megan is a CEO. She has a tech startup, so she's into tech. Maybe that's why she's going for the finance bro. I don't think you should. Tech bros and finance bros are never in. That's just for me. Talks about how he wants a traditional wife, and Megan is all here for it. I'm like, okay, girl. Apparently, he needs a wife to do the groceries because he can't do them. Okay? Do you not know how to be an adult? Like, I'm sorry, what? Ew. Ew for me, but yay for Megan, I guess. She wants to take on that traditional role while still being in a tech startup, and he says she passed the vibe check. Their whole conversation, I did not like. But that is purely because I don't like finance bros or tech bros. I don't like them. There is a air about that sector of the world that does not vibe with me. I was just like, I guess Megan wants trouble in her life. Anyways, after that, Sparkle Megan meets with Jordan. Jordan is a single dad. He has a son named Luca. Thank goodness for saying you have a son, Jordan, unlike other people who are hiding their kids on this show. So he led with that. Megan was totally okay with that. She asked if he's open to having other children. Apparently, this man got snipped. And I'm like... And Jordan is, I think he's 28. Like, you got snipped that fast? And now you're on a reality TV show to find a wife, have a family. Most people's idea of a family comes with wife and kids, not just wife, right? I was just like, instantly, Jordan is not serious. Jordan is just here to increase his social media presence. But he says it can be reversed. I don't know if it can be reversed. I haven't looked into it. But I was just like, why are you here? Anyways, everyone wants their 15 seconds of fame. Moving on, the camera pans to Allie. She is this stereotypical beautiful white lady. And again, I was instantly like, why are you here? Granted, attractive people can find it difficult to find love in the world, okay? It's not uncommon. You know, people tend to treat attractive people, especially when they're attractive, like Hallie, I'm going to put her picture here if I haven't already, as trophies. So I do understand, I want to find love. I want someone who loves me for me, blah, 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 my personality, all that. But again, I'm still like, why are you here? This is definitely because of my environment. I do admit that. But Allie meets with Anton, and she says her name is actually Aline, and she is Brazilian. She is Brazilian, another immigrant who speaks more than one language. Anna, Aline and Anton meet, and it was an instant hit. I like it when a couple laughs, when they're able to joke around and laugh initially. So they're laughing, they're joking, but they moved a little too fast. They started calling each other boo, babe, making couple nicknames. I'm just like, this is just the first day, right? Isn't this a lot? This is kind of a lot. I don't know. This is a lot. That's how it rolls for them. I'm here for it. Anton is also Russian, so another immigrant who speaks more than one language. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop shading that. Anton is Russian, okay? He has family in both Russia and Ukraine, and we all know that whole debacle that is happening there. And they connect on that based on the fact that they both had to come to the U.S. at a very young age. They had to learn English, and Ali considers herself a nurturer. I don't know if she said she was a nurturer in the part or she was speaking to the audience. I forgot. But basically, she labeled herself a nurturer, and Anton said he's a provider. And y'all, these labels are going to bite y'all on the butt. Okay. I don't necessarily think the label itself is bad, but you do know you can be a provider and a nurturer, right? You can be both. When I hear these labels, it's an instant ick for me. Not because the labels are bad. Obviously, you want to give everything to your partner. You want to provide. You want to protect. Or if they need nurturing, you want to be the nurturing one. But these labels, they're not working. You can embody both provider energy and nurturer energy, whether you're a man or a woman. And I feel like whenever a man says he's the provider, they usually just mean financial. It usually doesn't go beyond financial. And first of all, there are multiple ways of providing, not just financial. In another breath, what is wrong with you being a nurturer as a man? It's not a knock on your masculinity if you're nurturing as a guy. Just saying. And the same with a woman, you can be a provider. And again, providing is not just limited to financial, even though that's why you're like leading with. But these labels, I don't know. I guess the reason why I don't like the labels is because they're very limiting. And I feel like people are limitless. People are limitless. The one thing we all have as people is our ability to adapt. We are limitless. So stop limiting yourself to this little box of, let me just nurture and cook and clean, when you are so much more. And the same with you being a provider. Like, you can also nurture. Like, it's not something I'm gonna hold on to this couple, because these are labels people have grown up with. They've been told, do this, do that, and they just go about life on autopilot without actually realizing how limiting these labels are. So I'm not gonna like hold it on these two, because I actually think they're very cute. But it's just the labeling. Personally, the labeling for me, it ain't working. It ain't working, and someone who is just themselves without labels is better than them labeling themselves as I am XYZ. It's very limiting. That's just my personal take on it. But if it is empowering for you, go ahead. For me, it's limiting, but if it's empowering for you, go ahead. And another thing Anton said I didn't particularly like is that he said verbatim, I'll be there if my kids don't see their father and their mother still together. Again, going back to, you feel like you have to make something work when it's not working. People do fall out of love, and that is all right. Like, I know I'm reviewing Love is Blind, but this season, I was just like, maybe this is why I connected with the French season more, because they were honest and direct. This season is just like, you don't have to force it. You do know that, right? If you happen to fall in love with someone, and they were a seasonal love, okay, they're a seasonal love, you move on. It's called life. Life is a journey. I've already said I do not understand people who fear divorce, because for me, it's just like, you don't want to take a risk. That's how it comes across to me. But if you do, please let me know in the comment section below, because clearly I am missing something. I am missing something. It probably has to do with my upbringing of people just come and go. And that's all right. That is okay. You don't have to force something. The thing that worked today may not work tomorrow. What got you from point A to point B might not be what's going to get you from point B to point C, and that is all right. Do not force it. And a lot of people do hold these values, so please, really, feel free to let me know, what am I missing in the comments. That whole ordeal, he called her babe. He said he liked her. She said, I like you too. I think they're moving fast, but child, it's a thing, I guess. So the camera pans to Edmund, and instantly I'm like, what in the Attack of the Nerds is happening? I actually found Edmund to be really enjoyable, okay? He was a literal breath of fresh air. I love someone who is authentically themselves, and they are not going to minimize themselves for anyone, regardless of how they appear. Love Edmund instantly for his authenticity and his honesty. That was honestly refreshing this season, because I feel like there's a lot of fakeness happening. Okay, so Edmund talks about how he's been having this wonderful conversation with Calibria. We haven't even seen Calibria, so we haven't seen their first conversation. Edmund was kind of... So he loves talking to Calibria. Edmund and Calibria come in, talk about how they are a non-traditional couple. And I'm like, instantly, yes! People who make sense. I'm sorry. If traditional couples worked, we would not be where we are at today. That's all I'm saying, okay? I'm not saying you should be non-traditional or you should be traditional. What I'm actually saying is just do whatever you want to do, but don't feel like you need to force yourself in one box and check something off. That's just where I'm coming from. And the point of traditional couple, if it was successful, we would not be where we are at today. So they are my non-traditional couple. So clearly the only couple I'm going to root for this season. But Calibria does talk about how she doesn't mind being the breadwinner. I'm like, girl, okay. Love the non-traditional aspect, but I don't know about that, okay? My African ancestors are like, heck no. Love every aspect, but I don't know. I guess this is where I get traditional. The man pays. I'm sorry. Love the non-traditional aspect. Love the fact that Edmund is very comfortable in who he is as a person. And he does seem like he is comfortable with his unique version of femininity. Love that. And Calibria, in the same breath, she's very comfortable with her own unique version of masculinity. Love that. We have both. Both men and women have both feminine energy and masculine energy. So I love that they're both comfortable with that aspect of themselves, which is why they're the only couple I'm probably going to root for. But when it comes to finances, the man pays. Girl, I was with them where they're non-traditional, but then they try to make it 50-50 financially. I'm sorry, the man pays. Okay, I guess I am toxic to a degree. After that, Edmund does open about him being in foster care and him struggling through life. Instantly, I was just like, I don't know if this is your second conversation or the first. Well, it has to be at least a second conversation, because from how Edmund was introduced, he was already like, I love talking to Calibria. She's amazing. She's wonderful. So they've already talked. But I was just like, from the editing standpoint, I'm like, how far along is this? Because this is kind of like trauma bonding. I love the vulnerability. Don't get me wrong, but there is a time to be vulnerable. You know, in the beginning, it's just kiki, haha, fun, jokes. And then you get into the deep-rooted stuff. So because I don't know the timeline of stuff, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. But if this whole unpacking happened early on, that's a lot. I was kind of questioning. I was like, are they trauma bonding? Like, how long have they talked to one another? Like, is this the second day of the pause, or the third day, or the fifth day in the pause? What is happening? Because he was basically introduced as, I'm already talking to Calibria and she is my strongest connection. But we hadn't seen anything. Like, this is still episode 1, by the way. Trauma bonding, not trauma bonding, I don't know. This might be a red flag. But they're cute, they're adorable, they're honest. But yeah, so he does delve into how his family was neglectful. The state had to take custody of him. And whenever he would go back, they would remove him from his family. So he had to shift from home to home to home. There's a kind of like an instability in his childhood, which I'm sorry if that's happened to anyone. I can't even begin to imagine. But yeah, it just felt like a lot. At the moment when he was talking about it, I was just like, this is kind of a lot. I don't know if I'll be capable to take all of this in after my second or even fifth conversation with someone, but she did. She is a social worker, so she knows how these goes. She was open to it. She was open to his vulnerability. She was open to him, and she kept reassuring. And this man was in tears. So how like soft and nurturing she was, and I loved every second of it. I love me a man who cries. What can I say? I love a moody guy who cries. Anyways, I love these two together. They're amazing and they're great. He kind of felt like, well, he doesn't want to cry, as most men do. And she did say something which is definitely true. The strongest people cry. Don't think because you're holding in your tears you're strong. No, the strongest people cry and the strongest people feel. That is what it means to be a person, a caring person, a human even. Sociopaths don't have feelings. So if you're crying, you're letting it out, it's always a beautiful thing. There is a time and a place and certain people you should be letting it out in front of. Like, don't cry in front of a stranger. That's weird. But, you know, with your people, let it out, be yourself, and just be vulnerable. So I did like that she did tell him that, because that's absolutely true. So now the camera pans to Joey and Madison. Instantly, I dislike Joey. I was just like, this man looks like an F-boy. He looks like he's just here for clout. I don't know. Something about Joey ain't right. He's saying all the quote-unquote right things, but they're so shallow. Like, basic, surface level compliment. I feel like if anybody else was in front of him that was in Madison, those compliments would not have been different. It's like he has a Rolodex of compliments he just goes through. It doesn't matter who you are. And Madison does talk about how she loves karaoke, but she cannot sing. And when she does sing karaoke, she sings Fergalicious. I was just like, is this a white people thing? I know someone who cannot sing for her life, loves karaoke. Her go-to song is Fergalicious. I'm just like, and yeah, she's white, and I was just like, wait, is this a cultural thing? What is happening? Why do y'all pick Fergalicious when y'all can't sing? Anyways, child, I was cracking up, because what are the odds? What are the odds? For some reason, Madison finds Joey funny. I don't see the funny. She sees it. Moving on. Alini and Anton meet. They reminisce on their childhood and how it was difficult having an accent as an immigrant in America. I can totally relate. And how they may have been bullied for that. She says, I love you. Mind you, for me as a viewer, this is episode 1. She says, I love you. He says, I love you too. I already felt like these two were moving really fast, but I was like, we saying the L word episode 1 could not be me. They both had a dream about each other. He was coming out of prison in her dream. I was like, Alini, are you okay? Alini, are you okay? Are you all right? I don't know how to say are you okay in Portuguese, but girl, he was coming out of prison. What kind of people have you been dating? I've never dreamt of a convict before in my life. She dreamt he was a convict. He said, well, I've never been in prison, lady. Thank you, Anton. You do kind of look like a mob boss. I'm not going to lie. You do kind of look like a mob boss. But he's never been in prison. That's good. He too had a dream about her. I forgot what his dream was. But he proposes and she says yes. So the camera shifts to Megan and Jordan. And Jordan is the one who's the dad. They talk about his son. His son has type 1 diabetes. And her father also had type 1 diabetes, and that may have led to some of the complications that resulted in his passing away. So her father has passed away, and they connect them having a loved one struggling with diabetes. And after that conversation, I actually thought they were deep, but Megan is like, she's unsure about Jordan. I'm like, y'all are connecting over similar things. You're still unsure? But she's sure about Mike, who's the finance bro. Granted, Megan is in tech, Mike is in finance. It's very similar, so maybe I understand the connection. I just don't particularly like finance bros. One thing most men have in common is misogyny. That's all I'm going to say. And Mike, I get the ick. I want him off my screen. So next, moving with Mike, she meets with Blake, and apparently Blake's father has also passed away like Megan. And during her conversation with Blake, she's more emotional, she's crying. With Jordan, she was a bit stoic, even though his son and her father both had type 1 diabetes. But here she's crying and she's more so emotional. And I'm just like, Megan, you clearly just like Blake. Just go with Blake. Anyways, the episode ends with Anton and Alini about to be revealed. So I'm not gonna lie, initial thought, this is a very, very boring season. If I were not doing this review, I would have probably stopped watching this, but I guess I'm gonna torture myself for you guys. Episode 2, Anton and Alini meet and they like each other. I'm surprised she liked him. I knew he was going to like her. She looks stereotypical beautiful white lady, so I knew he was gonna like her. But I'm surprised she liked him. But she likes him. She likes his rough demeanor or rough look. And apparently they're both practicing signatures with their initial. That's so cute. A little bit cheesy, but completely adorable. Oh my god, that is so cute. So going back to the pod, Madison and Joey meet and they talk about her cats who sleep on her bed. What is up with Caucasian folks and kissing their animals on the lip and letting them sleep on the bed? It's a cat. I am a cat person. Trust me. Cats love me and I love them. But ain't no way a cat is gonna sleep on my bed. That's why a cat bed is full. The heck? This is why COVID lasted as long as it did in the US. Anyway, so Nick and Kate meet. Kate has been in a relationship for 8 years. So after that, she came into the wonderful world, I'm being sarcastic, of dating apps, online dating, and casual dating. And she hates it. Now she's here. Girl, I hate it too. Completely understandable. Her mom passed away, and the person she was dating, the 8-year-old boyfriend she was dating, cheated on her while she was grieving her mother passing away. Diabolical. Kate, I'm sorry. I am sorry that happened to you, but I don't think Love is Blind, Colorado version, is it. Instantly in the pod, she connects with Nick. I don't know why. Because again, I'm getting dead fish energy. I'm getting practically no personality. But she connects with Nick. Okay, it's a choice. Throughout this whole thing, I'm just going to say it's a choice. I ain't like him. But then something he said that I really did not like was the fact that he thinks kids hurting themselves is funny because they're so mushy and bouncy. I'm like, Nick, are you psycho? Are you actually psycho? Why would you think a child hurting themselves is funny? What's funny about someone being in pain? I'm missing something, and I'm glad I'm missing something because, ew. Despite all the red signs to me, but I guess green signs for her, she called this man perfect. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Kate and say maybe the editors are editing something out. Maybe. But I doubt it. But maybe. Okay, so Nick meets with Annie and he says he doesn't believe in traditional gender roles, which is completely fine. Neither do I. But then he said he doesn't want to be this man who takes up his sword and shield. And I'm just like, Nick, why you lying? You and I and every single viewer, except for maybe Annie because she doesn't know what you look like, knows you do not have a sword and a shield to take up. Nick, there's no sword and shield available to you. You have none. Why are you lying? Just say you don't believe in traditional gender roles because you cannot perform traditional gender roles. That is actually all right. Just be honest and say you do not believe in traditional gender roles because I cannot perform traditional gender roles. Most ladies would not peg you as a protector or even a provider. Let me just be honest. This is why I only like one couple this season, because of their honesty. And they are also non-traditional. But the honesty, so refreshing. Liar. When I heard that, I was just like, Nick, you don't have a sword and shield. Please stop. Please stop. I don't know who you think you're bamboozling, but you're not bamboozling me. I don't know if she replies to it or not, but she basically said she wants to be married next week. She wants a husband. She wants a husband right now. And I'm just like, girl, you just here to get married to whoever. This is Love is Blind season 9. It has always been shown that Love is Blind's mission statement and the message are two different things. The mission statement is you find love blindly. Character traits over physical traits. Is love truly blind? Blah, blah, blah. But Love is Blind as a show is entertainment. Alright. That is why they recruit people on Instagram. That is why they cast certain people, even people who are in relationship. Their message is one thing, but execution is this is entertainment. And I am bored. I am bored. I've never been so bored watching Love is Blind before. I honestly want to go rewatch Love is Blind France because that was the most entertaining Love is Blind ever. I am so freaking bored. My gosh. What is happening? What is going on? These people are not only odd. Like, I can deal with oddness, weirdness, awkwardness to a degree, but this is boring. That's what it is. It's boring. Because the only couple I favor, they are an odd couple. And maybe even Edmund does come across as a little bit weird and quirky. But it's honestly refreshing because they're not boring. Everyone else is so boring. Going back to Nick and Anna, she spills water on the carpet and they keep making wet jokes that are so corny and so boring. I picked torture today, didn't I? Moving on. So Anna meets Brendan, and Brendan is more cool, calm, collected. She instantly likes him. I instantly like him for her. Nick is not it. It's just the weird, intimate innuendos. They're not hitting. They're not even funny sex jokes. Like, damn. Brendan talks about how he will provide for his kid, and Annie's instantly in. Out of both of them, Brendan is probably the better choice. Brendan is back in the men's quarter eating his food. He looks down and he sees Edmund kissing the floor. Listen, this man is odd, this man is weird, but honestly, the authenticity and honesty is so refreshing this season. I don't even care that he was kissing the floor. I enjoyed every single second of it. He says he hasn't kissed anything in a long time and he had to kiss something. It's so odd, it's so weird, but it is so in line with who he is as a person. He's not trying to pretend to be anyone else. Ed and Calibria meet and he is wearing these beautiful Cupid angel shirts. I just love it. I like a man in touch with their femininity. Not a lot of them are, so it's so refreshing when you actually see one. Calibria opens up about her absentee father and she asks Edmund how he was able to forgive his mother for, because he had to go back into the foster care system. She would take him, he would go back because of negligence. And he basically said he has forgiven her because he knows she loves him. And Calibria was like, well, that's probably what she's struggling with because she doesn't know if her absentee father loves her. They both reassure one another and he tells her, you can be soft with me. Like one of the key words when you're dating, just dating in general, from a man or a woman, women, for the most part, there are exceptions, but for the most part, they tend to want to be around a man who makes them feel safe. You know, that whole, he makes me feel safe. So cute. And for men, their version of that is, she is safe to talk to. So the fact that this man said, you can be soft with me, like, that is usually a good sign of this person is gonna have your back. This was when I was like, okay, I really like these two together. They are so cute. They are so adorable. And I love that they're authentic. Wacko Megan and Blake meet and they have a wonderful conversation. They play a cootie catcher. I did not know that was called a cootie catcher. Did not know that. They fiddle with a cootie catcher, and the message is, your path in the pods will be filled with surprise. So that's the message Megan gets, which is so telling. Talk about foreshadowing. My gosh. And they're all like, oh, that sounds ominous. Yeah. Some bowl's about to happen soon. So Blake and Anna meet, and he has this little campfire date for her because she has said, you know, she likes camping, hiking, all those stuff. Even though to me, she appears more so a glamper like me, like a person who will not mind being outdoors, but I'm not sleeping in a tent. We're sleeping in a cabin with AC and or heater, depending on which season it is. I will go to the woods. I do love nature, but we are not sleeping in a tent. Absolutely not. A cabin, please. Thank you very much. They have a miniature park camp date, and he asks her if she's ever ghosted anyone. She says no. Once she starts talking to people, she doesn't really ghost them. Maybe if it hasn't gone further, she will quietly remove herself from the situation, but she hasn't really ghosted anyone because ghosting is rude. And he agrees. Okay, so Patrick and Casey meet and they have a little miniature basketball tournament thing. And Casey basically crushes man. Patrick, are you sure you play basketball? They were talking, they were having a conversation, and Casey basically asks him what is his ethnicity. I don't know if he mentioned he doesn't want to reveal it. I don't know how they came across. But she did kind of pressure him about telling her. She said physical attraction is very important in a relationship, which it is. She asked him what his ethnicity is. And at first he says, he's going to tell her he has no reservations about telling her his ethnicity. Then proceeds to be unable to speak for 2 straight minutes. And then finally tells her he's half Chinese and half Cambodian. And I'm just like, Patrick, my gosh, trade in your wishbone for a backbone. First of all, this is Love is Blind. Again, character traits over physical traits. As in, you literally do not have to disclose your ethnicity. You don't. Another Asian person, Taylor in Love is Blind DC, DMV, maybe that's why she was a little smarter about this. She didn't disclose the fact that she was Asian. She wanted to give the experiment her all, and I think she's still with the person she married. She didn't disclose that. You don't have to disclose that. It's Love is Blind. It's expected that you're not going to know what the person looks like. I didn't like the fact that Casey pressured, but I also did not like the fact that Patrick said he had no problem telling her his ethnicity, then proceed to be speechless for 2 minutes. Either you do or you don't. Trade in your wishbone for a backbone, please. After that, I was like, this man is indecisive. And if you've been on my channel before, I don't like indecisive folks. Indecisive folks lead to a switch up real fast because you don't know what's on their mind. You don't know what they're thinking about. You don't know what they're going to do. And they just switch because they can't make a decision. They don't have a backbone. They have a wishbone the whole time. I wish. He tells her he's half Chinese and half Cambodian. And it has been difficult for him to date as an Asian American. And he says people think Asian guys are not the most attractive and they have difficulty in the dating scene. Let me just stop you right there, Patrick. Media representation of Asian men in the West, and I have to say in the West, is atrocious. Don't get me wrong. It's bad. And Asian men do get labeled as not masculine in the West. Okay. It is pretty bad. However, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. The reason why I think, and this is just me, please let me know if you're a girl who feels this way in the comment section below. I really want to know what you think. As a person whose first crush was Asian, I was told early on from my mother, Asian men only marry Asian girls. After that, I went out into the world, saw how they navigated, and that only affirmed what I was already told from my mom. My mom is pretty up there in age, meaning this ain't a new thing. Most women know Asian men are only going to consider Asian girls for the long term, meaning marriage or a long committed relationship. Are there some individual Asian couples online that I've seen who have not married an Asian woman? Yes, I have. And for some reason, they tend to marry, I guess, foreigners, is what I'm going to call them, when they are in their respective country. Like a Korean man in Korea would marry maybe like a white girl or a black girl, something like that. That's what I've seen. Okay. Never an Asian American person is in a long committed relationship that leads to marriage to another ethnicity in, let's say, like the US. Or let me just add France to this, because a similar set of questions were asked when Vanmi and Sabrina were together. It really is, y'all have put a message out there, you will only consider Asian women for long-term relationships. Most girls are raised to finally get a husband, happily ever after. We've all watched Disney. They all end in a wedding. So if most girls are raised to be like, one day you're going to meet your husband, you're going to have your life together, and you actually are interested in this group, but you hear they only consider someone to have a life together who looks the way they do. And again, nothing wrong with that. Most people marry people who look like them. Like I said, most black men will marry a black woman. Most white men will marry white women. Most Asian men will marry Asian women. So there is nothing wrong with that. Love that for you. But you've already revealed your cards. Even if they were attracted to you, even if they would give you the time of day, if they are looking for lifelong commitment, they're not going to go towards you. Because they already know you're not interested in them like that. You might be interested in them for fun, as most men are, but you're not interested in them for a lifelong committed relationship. That is why you're struggling in the dating scene. It's not because you're unattractive. It's not your ethnicity. It is purely because you have put out a PSA saying, give me that kimchi wop, that wasabi wop, no jambalaya wop, and definitely no jollof wop. It is what it is. You were not considered a pumpkin spice latte girl for marriage, or the tamales girl. You want kimchi, sashimi, and any other variation of Asian food, which is great. Again, I don't want to hear it. Listen, it may come off as a little bit harsh, but this is just something that came up in Love is Blind France. It is something coming up in Love is Blind US, Colorado version. And it's just like, it's not what you think it is. It's not because you're unattractive. It's not your ethnicity. It is simply for the fact that most ladies of other cultures know you will only consider the Asian girls. Granted, Asian women also mostly marry Asian men. So there's nothing wrong with that. But in that regard, they are also open to marrying white guys. Okay. I did actually have an Asian woman teacher who married a black man. But most of the time, they're open to marrying white guys. At least for the Asian women, they're open to Asian men, white, maybe like 0.01% are open to black. But for the Asian men's side, honestly, 3 years ago, I had not seen an Asian man in a marriage. I'm not talking about your girlfriend. In a marriage with a woman who was not Asian. They were in long-term relationship with white girls, and then they will break up and go with the Asian girl for marriage. But I had not seen them. Not until 3 years ago. And honestly, this has all been online. Where I've seen, okay, so I guess some of y'all do marry other people. But the reason why you're not successful in the dating scene is because the girls know you're not going to take them seriously. And they don't want to waste their time. They know you want to have fun with them. You want to check a bucket list. Be like, okay, I was with this white girl. I was with this Hispanic girl. Basically, you want to be an F-boy like the white boys and the black guys. That's it. That is it. Bingo. You want to be an F-ball like the white guys and the black guys, and you do not have the opportunity to be an F-ball like them. So now it's like, women don't think Asian men are attractive. And there's some women who do not. Yes, they are. Yes, there are. Okay. There's some women who don't think black men are attractive. There's some women who don't think white men are attractive. Just like there's some women who don't think Asian men are attractive. However, there are also some women who do think you're attractive. And those women are not going to be open to you if you say you only want someone who looks like you. And again, nothing wrong with that. That's good. I don't want to make it seem like it's a bad thing. That's good. But like, don't come on my screen complaining when the facts are the facts. I'm sorry, dude. Black women have a similar thing. They put out a PSA saying they will only marry black men. And now it's a little bit difficult for them to navigate the dating scene with other groups of men. Don't put out a PSA. It is what it is. And if you happen to be an individual in a collective group who has put out a PSA, I'm sorry, you're collateral damage, okay? I am collateral damage because I'm actually open to everyone, but collateral damage. It is what it is. I don't feel bad for you. All right, moving on. That was actually very long, but I was annoyed. After having said that and thinking it would be a problem, Casey said she had no problem with it because it's not a problem. It's not a problem. But I do want to acknowledge something, okay? There are discriminatory people out there and there are racist people out there who will not consider you, even consider your ideas because you look a certain way. And one thing I have to say is, if someone is in their 30s and they check you off as a friend, a romantic partner, a voice to talk to because of your ethnicity, culture, height, whatever, they are a crappy person. It's not a you thing. It's a them thing. All right. This is the same advice I gave doing Love is Blind France with Sabrina and Van Mee. Did not think she would have a problem with him being Asian because she's a mature woman. Most mature women will not have a problem with your ethnicity. They care more about character traits. Are you a kind person? Are you generous? Are you giving? Are you loving? Are you caring? That holds more weight than how you look. But some of y'all, and I do have to say y'all, are so insecure. You have that voice of that immature little boy in your mind or that immature little girl in your mind who said, oh, you ugly because da. And you walk around as a 30-year-old thinking everyone is looking at you sideways because of your ethnicity when they're not. As we mature, as we grow, we gain a different perspective. It's a part of life. All right. And like I said, if someone is in their 30s, and I do have to say 30s because the brain finishes developing by the age of 25. So I am giving like a 5-year gap in there. If someone is in their 30s, they do not consider you for anything because of ethnicity, race, culture, height, whatever. They're a piece of ish. They are a piece of ish. It is what it is. Casey said the fact that he's Asian does not change a thing. Did not think it would change a thing. She is 32. She's a mature woman. Not to say every 32-year-old is mature, but she is mature. She's 32. She just wants someone who treats her right. It makes sense. She did reassure him. And even after that conversation, he still was unsure about Casey. Patrick, you just want to marry the Asian girl. And again, that's fine. Don't waste Casey's time, though. You knew she wasn't Asian. You knew she was white. Don't waste Casey's time. After this, I was just like, Casey, you deserve better. My gosh, you deserve better. You're over here wasting your time. And this is also why Asian men don't tend to be lucky in the dating games, because we know you're going to waste time until you find your Asian wife, your beautiful Asian wife, and then be like, no one wants to be your placeholder. So the camera pans to and she says she loves Patrick. She thinks he's attractive. But back in the day, if she knew a guy was Asian, she would immediately cross him off. And I'm just like, Anna, are you okay? When she said that, I was like, she is very immature. She is very immature. This is the difference between Casey and Anna right here. Casey is mature, but because she's not Asian, Patrick is not going to give her the time of day. Anna's immature. I don't think she should be dating anyone. That whole thing I said, if someone is going to cross you off because of ethnicity and culture, they're a crappy person. they're probably immature and they need to grow up. That's Anna. But Patrick is not going to see that because she's Asian. Even if it's someone who looks like you, if they're going to cross you off because you look like them, immature, ain't-ish person, you dodge a bullet. But he's going to go towards Anna because she fits. She looks the way my wife is supposed to look. Patrick, whatever Anna does to you, you deserve it. At this point, you deserve it. No, seriously, you deserve it. Like, she's very immature. She says it's more of a friendship attraction. I don't even think y'all have friendship attractions. I have a better connection with my friends than you two do as romantic prospects. It's insane. Anyway, they're both blowing me. Get them off my screen. So they talk, and Patrick talks to Anna about how he's half Chinese, half Cambodian. She's Chinese, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so hot that you're half Chinese, half Cambodian. It's so hot that you're Chinese. And I'm just like, I'm confused. Listen, are there attractive Chinese people? Yes, there are. Are there attractive Cambodian people? Of course. Like, come on, right? I've seen the Chinese dramas. I like the Han Fus and the long hair and the men and the horses. Yeah, they're beautiful. But you don't know what you look like. They blew me. I'm not gonna lie. I was annoyed. I did not want to listen to what they had to say after that. I was just like, whatever. It's the next day. Patrick is ready to propose to Anna because she's Asian. They connected on the fact that they are both Asian. And yeah, that's enough. Connection right there. You don't need to have anything in common other than you're from the same ethnicity. So clearly you understand one another. I'm being facetious, and I know some people actually believe this. I have connected with people who look nothing like me, more than people who are actually from my ethnicity, my culture, and even my African tribe. Okay, y'all are connecting. Good for you. He walks into the pod, he says hello, he's ready to propose, and Anna is nowhere to be found. And we're ending episode 2. Now I'm jumping into episode 3. Anna has left the experiment for who knows what. She said she wouldn't ghost someone after she's talked to the person, but apparently that was a lie. Anna, you're a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar. Indecisiveness and a liar. Patrick deserves it though. So Anna left the experiment for God knows what. I don't care. Don't want to know. So the camera pans to Mike and Megan. They have the most boring conversation. I'm just going to speed through this because episode 3 was excruciatingly boring. Episode 2 was boring, but episode 3 just sunk it for me. Speed running through this. Mike and Megan talk. They have the most boring conversation ever. Megan goes into the park to talk to Blake. Blake is the one whose father also passed away like Megan. She goes into the park to talk to him, and boom, he too has left the experiment. The 2 people who talked about they are not gonna go are the people who are ghosting other folks. Listen, I get it. Things happen. Life's happen. You know you can write a letter, right? I'm not saying come in the pods, tell this person I need to go blah blah blah. Write a letter. Give it to production. They're gonna give it to them. You can do that. Like you can actually do that. Y'all have pen and paper right there. You can write a letter to someone. Explain to them you can't meet them because of XYZ or 1, 2, 3, or maybe you just have cold feet, something. A little bit of honesty would be nice. A little bit of honesty would be nice. A little bit of a backbone would also be nice. But they don't have it. They don't have it. This season of Love is Blind, no backbone inside, all wishbone. I wish. They left. Blake and Anna left the experiment, did not tell anyone, practically ghosted everyone. After talking about how they would never get someone. I would never get someone I started talking to. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I skipped this part. Joey Madison, he proposed to her in the pause and they meet. So there's a reveal. Instantly, he does not like this girl. This man forgot to get on one knee and put a ring on her finger. Because usually in Love is Blind, you know, they propose in the pause since they haven't met each other. Once they meet one another for the first time, the man gets on one knee, proposes. He forgot because he does not like this girl. And she's all giddy. Oh my gosh, he's nervous. He's not nervous, Madison. He's not nervous. He's just not into you. Actually, I don't know much about you, Madison. I don't know what you deserve, but he's not nervous. So Annie meets with Brendan. They talk in a pause. She sounds a little bit clingy and he sounds detached, but she likes him for some reason. I mean, I guess some people like stoic guys. After that, she talks with Nick, and they only make weird sexual innuendos. You know, why is she entertaining this? I'm not saying she does not like it, but it's just like she's just going along to get along. Again, that wishbone. Nick and his Rolodex are just complimenting her the whole time while making weird sexual innuendos. After that, Nick and Kate meet, and again, he pulls out his Rolodex of basic compliments, gives the same to Kate. She loves it. This season is just weird. Everyone is just saying a bunch of stuff, nothing deep. Finally, Edmund and Calibria, the only honest couple this season. They're a bit unorthodox, but you can tell there's love there. He talks, he proposes to her, and she says yes, and this man begins screaming. I was like, oh, that turned me off. That turned me off. Throughout this season, I have loved Edmund's authenticity, his honesty, and passion. I like men who yell. Can you have all of that in a calm veneer? Like a mixture of Edmund's passion, authenticity, and joy for life, or joie de vivre, as the French say, mixing with Brendan's calm demeanor would be perfect. But this man is yelling, and I'm just like, no, stop yelling, stop yelling. She loves it, so good for her. But I was running away. I was running away from my screen. We go back to the men's quarter. Patrick's talking about how Casey's his number one. She's always been the one. You're a liar. Anna left you. Anna left you, and Casey's your number two. He actually does say to the audience Casey was his number two. But in the men's quarter, you're lying about Casey being your number one. Casey deserves better. Unfortunately, she's going to be stuck with this man. Casey, after this experiment, I hope you get more followers and you can actually find your husband out there. Because he's not on Love is Blind. I'm sorry. Now Patrick goes into the pod to talk to Casey. He's talking about how when he was younger, his confidence was down, but now his confidence is just rock solid. I'm like, I don't see it, Patrick. You a liar. You and Anna deserve each other. You'll actually be great together. A bunch of immature, indecisive liars who are together. Perfect. Leave Casey alone. Jordan walks in. He says hello. No one is there. First, I was like, uh-oh. Did Megan actually steal him up? She didn't, because she's mature. She showed up just a little bit late, and she talks about how she was ghosted by Blake. And they laugh about it. They have a wonderful conversation. Now, loudmouth Jordan takes his convo with Sparkle Megan to the men's quarters and talks about how she was ghosted. I'm like, are you an idiot? You never go to the men's quarter and talk about your connection in the pods. What is wrong with y'all? Why? Why would you do that? And now you got maniacal Mike over there scheming about how he's going to steal Megan from you because you're an idiot. Anyways, I don't even want Megan to be with any of these guys. I don't want her to be with Jordan or Mike. But now maniacal Mike is just in the men's quarter smirking. He gets into the pods with Megan and basically tells her, oh, she's been ghosted. Uses the situation to his advantage. This is why I hate finance bros. Basically uses the situation to his advantage like a real finance bro who's always calculating, never authentic. I need to calm down. And he uses the fact that she was ghosted as ammo. I've never disliked someone so much on a reality TV show like I do Maniacal Mike. Get him off my screen. But unfortunately, he will not, because now this lady is crying. She's telling him about how he reminds her of all her exes. She's not sure. He tries to fake reassure her, but Megan, I think Mike is actually worse than all your exes. Personally, I actually think Mike is worse than all your exes. Maniacal Mike is his name. He said something along the line of he doesn't want to pour his heart out and look like an idiot. Mike, you have not poured your heart out. You have not remotely poured your heart out. You want to know what pouring your heart out is? Go watch Love is Blind France. They pour their hearts out. Matter of fact, you don't have to go. Go listen to Edmund in the pod. That is pouring your heart out. You have not done You haven't done jack. Nothing. Very surface level conversations. We are only looking at the top of the iceberg. We are not even landing on top of the iceberg. These conversations have been anything but deep, very much shallow. We are on the shallow end of the pool because she's not ready to make a decision. She needs time. And as he's leaving, he says it's part of the process. He won't follow you. As soon as he said that, I said he's going to use this against her. If these two ever get engaged, Maniacal Mike is going to use the fact that Megan needed time to contemplate because she's not actually indecisive. She just needs time to contemplate as a point of contention. He is going to make it miserable for her. Megan, leave by yourself. Leave while you can. But there are a lot more episodes and I don't think she's leaving. Anyways, that is it for my review of episode 1 to 3. My brain cells were dying as I was watching it. If you want good Asian representation, well, maybe not good, a diverse Asian representation who do not limit themselves to a stereotype, go watch Love is Blind France. My favorite is Kim. Okay, this is not it. I'm bored. It's very boring. These people are not open. They're not honest. Is this Southern hospitality? I don't know. I don't live in the South. I live in the East Coast. I don't like this. A bit more honesty would be nice. I'm not saying be mean, but a bit more honesty would be nice. Please let me know how you felt about these episodes or how you feel about Love is Blind Season 9 Colorado. I don't like it and I'm bored. I am bored. I cannot wait for the reunion of Love is Blind France. And I keep mentioning it because I'm so bored. Please let me know in the comment section below and I see you next week. Bye.